of your weather now with meteorologist Cedric Haynes. Cedric, we made it to the end of the work week. What can we expect for the weather for our weekend?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got great news there. We've got the setup for a nice weekend here, of course, across a lot of folks are probably excited about this weekend. And let's talk about some small weather issues we have out there. Nothing major, but hey, something you may have noticed. How about the valley inversions? We've been showing you some of our views looking over from the mountains down into the valleys, and we're starting to approach inversion season. So basically, what happens is the cooler air temperatures that we have at the surface kind of mixes with a little warm air that tries to move in up above us here, and that kind of traps a little bit of the smog and a little bit of that haze down close to the valley floors. So between the valley floors and the benches, you tend to see a little bit of haze and grayness out there. It's not terrible, but it kind of filters out the sunshine a little bit. Well, we've been seeing that. Here's a look now from the Ensign view, our Ensign peak camera, and you can see again, if you look closer, a little bit of that haze there, that inversion setting up with the warmer air above it, the cool air down to the surface. But we're going to flip that as we go throughout the weekend as we start to bring that warmer air down to the surface. 45 degrees currently in Logan, 46 in Ogden and Salt Lake City. We're at 40 degrees in Provo, but still a nice, comfortable 60 degrees in St. George. Let's show you what's going on in Ivins, Utah right now. The sun beginning to set with that crystal clear blue sky showing up there. Here's our red rock showing up, and of course the course looking pretty nice as well, but the weather has been pretty decent down south today, and that trend will likely continue as we go throughout the weekend as well. We've got a northerly flow out there, and that's keeping high pressure at bay for now. That's trying to bring in the warmer air to the area, but it's running into this area of low pressure off to the east, which is bringing snow and severe storms to our friends off to the east, but that's going to stay east. So as you go throughout the rest of your Saturday, Friday night into Saturday, we're going to see the heavy snow continuing for places like Denver, Colorado Springs, even down to places like Cheyenne there. So right up and down the corridor there through Pueblo, probably an additional 4 to 8 inches of snow on the way for those folks. 31 degrees in Salt Lake City tonight, 34 in St. George, but outlying areas will likely be back in the 20s, so another cold night for us. But this low pressure is finally on the move as we get throughout this weekend, allowing some warmer air to build in, and that's really going to be the theme in the next couple of days. Now, there's a weak system that'll try to move in for the beginning of next week, giving us a little bit of a cool down briefly, but notice the warming trend returns right after that, so it's not going to stick around for too long. The Weber State game during the afternoon hours on your Saturday, sunshine. Temperatures will be in the 40s, so a little on the cool side, but with that sun, it'll feel pretty comfortable. Now, Saturday night, that's a different story. Temperatures fall quickly after sunset from the 50s through the 40s and into the 30s, and so you're going to want to make sure you're bundled up there heading out for the big BYU and Utes game. So this storm system moves away. That's good news. We're fairly quiet as we go throughout the weekend. Next week, we've got a weak system that grazes us to the north. It's not going to do too much for us, and then the next system by next weekend could bring us some wetter than normal conditions. So that's something we'll keep our eyes out on and keep our fingers crossed for, but we'll see how that plays out. We're right where we should be for precipitation this time of the year, so that's good news. Now in St. George, we're looking pretty good all the way through Veterans Day. We may get close to 70 by the time we get towards Monday. Wasatch Front, not bad as well. We may get into the low 60s on Monday before rain and snow showers on Tuesday, but of course, all eyes on tomorrow night. The weather, my goodness.
Okay, but tonight though too, be high blitz.
Yes, play
extra jackets.
Yes,
is that your advice?
Yes, extra jackets, team sweatshirts. You can actually wear them and not sweat.
Oh, there you go. Hey, that's good.
Most of the games are already underway.
Yeah. Okay,